Plants need only 3 ingredients for photosynthesis. Each ingredient is really important because without it, plants can't make their own food. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is the first ingredient needed for photosynthesis. Here's a quick way to get a better understanding of carbon dioxide. Try this with me. Take a deep breath. Now, let it out. What you are exhaling is carbon dioxide. Once you and all the other humans and animals on the planet breathe out, carbon dioxide is released into our air. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is a gas. But how exactly do plants use carbon dioxide to make food? Like us, plants need to breathe. However, instead of having lungs, plants have tiny openings called stomata on the undersides of their leaves. The stomata are like tiny windows that allow plants to absorb CO2 from the atmosphere. Once inside the leaves, CO2 is stored in a part of the leaf called chloroplasts. We'll learn more about what happens in the chloroplasts in a few minutes. Ready to test what you just learned about our first ingredient, CO2? Here is question 1. CO2 is a gas made up of 1 carbon and how many oxygen atoms? A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, D, there are no oxygen atoms in CO2. The correct answer is B. There are 2 oxygen atoms in CO2 gas. Question 2. What do we call the tiny openings in leaves that allow plants to absorb CO2? A, veins. B, chlorophyll. C, stomata. D, chemical energy. The answer is C. Stomata are the tiny openings in leaves that allow plants to absorb CO2. Question 3. In which part of the plant is CO2 stored for photosynthesis? A, roots. B, chloroplasts. C, stomata. D, A, and C. The correct answer is B. Chloroplasts store CO2 for photosynthesis.